You might have heard that live shopping is exploding. And I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop, prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No, you can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's Zenni.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. Happy Friday. Man, I love myself a Friday. For all the obvious reasons. And probably a few I will never talk about. Because, well, there's a record of it somewhere, probably. So The Strangest Secret is something that came out. Earl Nightingale produced this, I think it was back in the late 50s when it came out. And it is a staple. It is everybody in motivation and sales, they've all been through it at least once or twice. And if you haven't gone through The Strangest Secret, it's out there. You can find it all over the place, books and PDFs and everything else. But today, go through some of the highlights of it, get you thinking a little bit different into next year. It's a good basis to have. It is a daily boost from motivationtomove.com, the positive boost you need every single day. We need a positive boost because stuff happens. That's it. I remember a long time ago, before I ever did the show, I was actually at the motivation station down in Pompano Beach, Florida, way back in the 90s. I was literally playing, I was a disc jockey on the radio, but I didn't play songs. I played clips from motivational speakers, and then I gave commentary between them. It started way back then, and it was crazy how it happens and how you learn that, and you look for that little boost to give yourself something, because at the end of the day, we need that to keep ourselves driving forward, don't we? And you have to find a way to fuel yourself somehow. And if this show does it, hi, thank you. Thanks for allowing me to help you do that. You have other things that you do that fuel you, give you that boost as well. Find those things. Enjoy those things. At the end of your life, which is going to come a lot faster than you think, you're going to look back on those things that boosted your feeling, boosted how you felt, boosted how you achieved, boosted who you know, all that stuff. You're going to look at that stuff as the highlights of your life. And it starts today. Da-da-da. All right, kind of one of those weeks. It's me, Scott Smith, founder, chief motivating officer here at motivationtomove.com. If it's your first time, if you're just coming and thinking, what the hell is this guy? He sounds like a disc jockey. He doesn't sound like Tony or Brendan or Zig. He doesn't sound exactly like those, but he talks but he knows stuff that I've never heard them say before, and I never quite know what he's going to do. Maybe I don't like him. Maybe I do. I'm not sure. All I can say is this: you're dead on right. Hang on for the ride, though, because as you will learn if you've listened to the show for any length of time, no matter where I start, and no matter I will get to my end, and in between is going to be a wild ride, like in a sports car going up a mountain road in the Alps. It's going to be amazing. So come along for the ride. Before I start today's show, I have to ask the question we always ask on a Friday. You, the emotional person you are, you're so emotional. You get so emotional. Why do you get so emotional? You got to check your emotions. You're an emotional. Yeah, no kidding. I'm emotional. We all are. Somebody says, you don't be emotional. Say, I have no choice. I'm human. I'm emotional, right? So we know we have emotions. You need to harness your emotions, control your emotions, understand your emotions, the whole thing. And one of the ways I do that, a very simple way, and I like simple because simple just works, is having a little question. How do I want to feel? Because you know what? It doesn't really matter what's going on. You can be in a fight with your boss, your wife, whatever. It makes no difference. You can be in a moment where you just don't want to be in that moment. And you could decide just by saying, how do I want to feel? I'll make you a promise. If you can get yourself to say, how do I want to feel? If you can do that, instantly you're going to change. There's no way of stopping it. Here's the advanced version. Paula has been with me. I think she's MTM member number 2. I forgot who number 1. Denise was number 1, but she went away. I don't know what happened to her. But which means we're going back like 17 years now. And I told Paula one day, I said, you know what? You need to ask, how do I want to feel? And think about the students you're about ready to teach kayaking to. She goes, what do you mean by that? I said, well, I know how you want to feel when you get done teaching the students kayaking, but how do you want them to feel? Can you install that in them as part of this? She did. Became a very popular instructor, and that became her retirement job. It replaced everything else she was doing, all because she focused down on how she wanted to feel and how she wanted to make her clients feel. Ask yourself that question. It's more powerful than you think. The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale. It's one of the greatest motivational works in history, The Strangest Secret. It began actually as a way to motivate the insurance company that he worked for, the sales force. It's probably back when we had, it's probably door-to-door sales, I would imagine, back then. We didn't have cell phones or anything like that back in the late 50s. But like a lot of things, we don't even think about it. It began as a commercial thing. In this case, it began as a way to motivate people to sell to make money. And money's good. Money is it's the root of everything. Yep, I'll just leave it at that. It's the more you have, good, bad, it's helpful. Everything is driven by it. And that's where this all started. And it's become a standard now, and a lot has been built on this. But let's get into The Strangest Secret and a couple of these areas you may not have heard. Now, what's the number one area? This is pretty much in order as it came out of the book. I just pulled some ideas a few years back and wrote these down. You become what you think. You become what you think. And a great way to explain that is if you're thinking about what you don't want in life, stop it. If you think about how bad things are, stop it, because you're just getting more of that. Whatever you think about, you're just going to become. That's it. So don't think about anything you don't want to become. Just get it out of your mind right away. You become what you think. It's the most powerful tool you have. Even if you're not there living it today, you will become it if you think that way. You'll grow into it. You'll expand as a person. Like I said on yesterday's show, the person you want to be in 2023 may not arrive until 2024 because it's going to take you a whole year to expand into it. A whole year to think about it so you can become what you think, and it'd be a year late, but you couldn't have got there if you didn't go through the journey. Number 2, you must pay the price. You must pay the price. A lot of people these days don't want to pay the price. My whole life, my whole career in this business, amazing business that has just done so much for me in the past nearly 20 years now, started with 90-hour weeks, working a full-time job, and then starting a business on my own, a video production business, and then deciding I want to do this little thing called a podcast, and I needed a blog and stuff like that. 90-hour weeks to the point that I dropped my head into my hands and said, how much longer can I do this? But it smoothed out. It got that momentum that I needed. And once I had that momentum, just kept going. But I had to pay the price. I still pay the price every so often too, sometimes. Too much often. But yeah, it happens in life. Number 3, we must control our thoughts. Remember, we become what you think about, but we must control our thoughts. This is when I talked earlier about how do I want to feel. If that little hack for you is to simply say, in a bad situation, how do I want to feel? Boom, you're controlling your thoughts. You're on it. You have the ability. Nobody gets to control what you're thinking. Nobody gets to control what you say, how you feel. Nobody gets to control that. You get to do that. Number 4, cut away all limitations of the mind. Limiting beliefs, false beliefs. You hear about that a lot. When I'm working with people, one of the biggest things I have to do is break those false beliefs. I got to break them. And there are a lot of ways to do that, but I have to build my case, if you will, and I have to get at the point that it makes such sense that I can literally remove the limitations from somebody else's mind. When you can do that, man, it just takes off. It's like greasing the wheels of a freight train, if that's even possible. Number 5, set A clearly defined goal. What Napoleon Hill called it, your definite purpose. You want something? It has to be clearly defined. Zig Ziglar said you can't. He told a story years ago about a basketball team out there trying to play basketball, but they had no goals at the end of the court. He said, how are they going to win the game without goals? Clearly defined goal. Put a basketball hoop on the end of the court, and the goal is put the ball in it. Clearly defined goal. You win the game. 6, act promptly when the path is clear. Yep, when you know the way, go do it. Now, what does that mean if it's not clear? Well, you're not going to act so promptly, are you? I often will take a very, very long time to decide stuff, sometimes a year or more to figure stuff out that I want to do. I will not move forward with anything unless the path is clear. Unless I know what's going to happen, I will not move forward. I still may not know how I'm going to get there or what's going to happen. I still might not know how it's going to manifest. But I will not move forward if I don't have a clear path. Ask anybody who knows me, Scott, when are you going to do it? I'll let you know. Don't see the path yet. Finally, this one throws people sometimes. Sage advice, though. Save at least 10% of every dollar. And if you're 16 or 17 years old and you're listening, or you're in your 20s or your 30s and you haven't figured out how to put 10% away yet, you need to figure it out fast. As a guy who didn't figure it out until I was probably in my 40s, I sure wish I had done it, because then I couldn't put just 10% away. I had to put more away. Thank God I was able to earn it. Save at least 10% of every dollar. What do you want more than anything else? Commit to it. Use these rules, these ideas. And if I were you, a highly motivated individual that I know you are, if you would think like Scott, you know what you'd be doing right now? If you haven't already done it? You'd be Googling The Strangest Secret, trying to find the free PDF someplace. And if you're really cool, you'll probably order the book on Amazon, and I get on a Kindle because it's faster that way. But if you were like roll with the world I roll in, as soon as I hear somebody talk about something that makes a lot of sense to me, I go, okay, I'm going to go get that right now. I'm going to read it right now. It would be read by the end of the day. Within an hour or two, I would take care of it. Are you that kind of person? Don't have to be. I'm just saying. Maybe you want to be. All right. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your New Year's celebration, whatever that's going to be for you. Ours will be very, very chilly. It's going to be down around 30 degrees here in Orlando. Daytona Beach, where I live. How chilly that day. I'll stay warm. Back on Monday with some real world rules that'll keep you happy. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday.